Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 24th edition of Alabama Primetime Live from yours truly, Jackson Johnson. And we've got some amazing YouTube memberships coming straight to you, all right here from Alabama The Voice of College Football. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member, where you'll get a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and the live chat, and custom emojis to use in the comments and the live chat, and member shoutouts. For $4.99 a month, you can become a Saban disciple, and you'll get priority reply to comments and access to a monthly hangout from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Jeffrey Don't Talk Sports, and Coach Smook Hines. And for $9.99 a month, you can become a Bear Bryant legend, where you can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind. And neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow, nor this miserable Alabama weather will put a stop to us from fulfilling your content requests, all right here on Alabama The Voice of College Football. And here with me is the co-host for Alabama Primetime Live is Coach Smook Hines.
What's going on, everybody? What's up? Roll Tide in the chat. If you're tapping in live, make sure you tap that screen, hit that thumbs up. If you are watching post, still hit that thumbs up, drop some comments, interact with the live, interact with the post live stream. Hey, Jackson, how you feeling tonight, man?
Oh, doing all right, man. Just getting through that summer weather, the final bit of it.
Listen. I don't know about you, but it's been pretty rainy down this way in central Alabama, but more so than rainy, man. It felt like fall this morning. We got up to do our workouts this morning, so it felt like fall to me, man. And it smells like football. I stay probably like maybe like 3 to 5 minutes from Alabama State University, so it's like, man, I smell it. I get to hear the band and everything. And shout out to the AAA family tapping in over there on the Coach Smook Network. Make sure y'all pull up to the Alabama at the Voice of College Football. We're live. Make sure you share it out. Let them know that we are here. We're live, ready to dive into the conversation surrounding today's reports and updates from practice. That, I mean, we haven't talked since last week, so we got a lot to catch up on, Jackson.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And big things have happened since, as a matter of fact.
Right. And I mean, one of the main topics, and we're going to talk about, is QB1 has been named, and you all know, if you follow the Smook Scoop, we've kind of been aware of this news for a while now. We've been aware of this for a while, but to have it official, no more speculating. We here. Dino, Roll Tide. Sully, Roll Tide. Zach, Mary J, I see y'all Roll Tide in the chat, man. Y'all are having a good time in the chat already. I see y'all. Hey, continue to share it up and let everybody know that we're live here on Alabama Voice of College Football. Man, we got a lot of stuff to cover. The QB battle, some young players starting to emerge and really have put their print and their mark on the rotations. The defensive line group looking like they're primed and ready to return Alabama back to that dominant front. A lot of things to talk about tonight, Jackson. So as we get into it tonight, we ask y'all to just continue to participate, run the chat up. The more you chat, the more you type, the better it is for the content, the better that it is for the algorithm. And we want to be the place where you come for all of your Alabama information and content over this 2025 season and going forward. So we got a lot of work to do if we want to keep the people around, Jack. So let's get into it. You ready to get into it, brother?
Absolutely, man. Let's get it. Let's get at it.
All right, man. So first thing, I kind of want to start with basically, man, the QB1 announcement. Your reaction to it, Jackson. I know we kind of talked through text, but just give me a kind of a good lengthy expression of what this means to you and for the Alabama Crimson Tide in your eyes from a fan standpoint.
Well, I figured it was going to be happening before the week before we were playing Florida State, but it's basically 2 weeks before Florida State, so I was like, close enough. But regardless of who's going to be the starting quarterback, I've been saying they're going to be very happy with the receiving core. Besides Ryan Williams, and you're going to have Horton, and you're going to have Bernard and Dalton and all those guys, and you're going to have pretty good offensive line protecting you. It's a lot better than last season, I tell you right now. And like when we heard it was going to be 95% likely that Simpson was going to be the starting quarterback, I was like, okay, I know where this is heading. they're gonna keep us waiting a couple more weeks. But it's like, nope, they kept us waiting a week for that announcement. I was like, nice.
So, and that's what I try to tell people. I look at this roster as a whole. There was a lot more spots than the quarterback position that really needed some clarity on who would be the go-to guy. And I think we found that out, not just the QB position, but I think we're going to have our first week lineup for what it's worth at the offensive line position. And I think Geno Vandermark is the other guard that's going to be playing opposite of Jaden Roberts once we finalize that front. You know, Caden Proctor at left tackle. I see Geno Vandermark being the left guard. Parker Brelsford man in the center role. Jaden Roberts at right guard and Wilkin Forby at right tackle for our first group of offensive line. But I truly see Cam Dewberry making his move. Any chance, any slippage at one of those guard positions, I think they're prepared to make the shuffle and make the adjustments as needed. But great news surrounding the quarterback positions. Like I said, it's kind of hard for me to continue to talk about it because I've been saying it for the past month. You know, ever since the end of spring ball, and they made it known that if a game was played tomorrow, Ty Simpson would be the quarterback. With the first time that was the statement made, that let me know that he had done exactly what he needed to do to maintain that position as QB1 and should be. You got 4 years in the college football scene on the college football playing field. You got a few snaps around under your belt. You got 2 different systems that you've learned and kind of had the extensive teachings in. So I think Ty Simpson is more than ready. Always possess the skill sets to be the type of quarterback you need. But to hear Ryan Grubb today speak on some things that I was very critical on when evaluating him up until spring, the last spring scrimmage or the second spring scrimmage is when I was like, okay, I see the improvement. And there's always this debate there, you know, that is he the best quarterback in the room? I don't think he's the best quarterback in the room, but for the moment right now, what the team needs, yes, he's the best option. And I think this staff were very smart at, you know, going ahead and pulling the trigger and saying, okay, this is QB1 and this is what we're going with. This is plan A going into the season 2025 fall season.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Nice.
Yeah, these boys, hey, they was getting after it last week, man. This is footage from last Friday's practice, I believe. A lot of activity with these linebackers. That's another topic of conversation that we're going to have to get into a little bit later too. You know, just the depth in the linebacker room. We probably won't get to it tonight, but that's something that I've been every day. You know, I have my sources inside that kind of report. We kind of have conversations about what's happening on the practice field. But every day, this linebacker group is being highlighted. So we definitely going to have to give them their due. I wanted to share the interview with the viewing audience, man. I know some people that were in the chat on the Smook Scoop earlier today. You may have seen it, but I want to play pieces of it and just kind of get your reactions because there were some things. Jordan said Coach DeBoer is talking to them. Jordan, if you could get a video clip and send it to me, just to let people know how connected we are at the Alabama Voice of College Football. Get a clip of it. Just send it to me. We got viewers that's actually in the house. You know what I'm saying? They in the house. They at the big house holding it down. But like I was saying, Jackson, I think there was a few things that Coach Grubb said that were very interesting and let me know that the things that we need to see from the likes of Ty Simpson, for Ryan Grubb is not going to sugarcoat anything. He's actually had to have that whole talking of like, hey, dial it down some. Don't give him everything or don't be so straightforward. I think Coach Grubb spoke said some key things that let me know that Ty Simpson, we should trust fully in Ty Simpson. And here it is. Let's go, Coach Grubb.
The opening statement. Hey guys, Ty Simpson's our starter. How's that? Pretty good? Okay, let her ride. What do we got?
Watch Ty Simpson your starter.
There we go. Good follow-up. Ty did a really nice job of taking care of the football. I think number one, I think Ty is an incredible playmaker on the move, and I think from there, guys like that, you worry, are they going to be able to train themselves to be able to take care of the football? And I just even the room in general, Ty led that charge, but Ty didn't throw any picks last week. He's thrown one all camp. We've thrown 4 total this camp, and this spring, I think at this time we had thrown 15. So I think in general the guys are understanding the concepts and control the offense a lot better as a room, and Ty was the best at that. And so his ability to command and create out of the pocket, I thought was the best, make great decisions. And he's just much cleaner on some of the things that you expect an older quarterback to be able to do.
That's the first thing I want to highlight. I'm sorry, chat. Don't eat these. All right, Jackson.
Oh, I can't bear to eat these.
Hey,
But those are
do not eat these, okay?
You won't have to tell me twice.
They are so addicting, and they're so like God made those, okay? But I want y'all to pay attention to something he said. He said he's doing all the things that you expect an older veteran quarterback to do, right? When we talk about Ty Simpson, I don't think people realize that Ty Simpson has been on the college campus for 4 years now. 4 years. He's been protected, just like I said he should have been last year, with all the issues that we were having on the offensive line that first year Jalen Milroe started, and then the second year to follow up in that transition, to have the issues that we had on the offensive line. I don't think that would have helped Ty grow any. I think right now, Ty has the best plate prepared for him to experience success as the Alabama quarterback. With all that talent that he possesses, I think this is the time now. The veteran offensive line, the star-studded receiving core, the running back group. What's your thoughts on that for Coach Ryan Grubb to have to really emphasize on what you expect from a veteran quarterback?
I think it's pretty cool. Like you got that leadership that we've been desperately looking for, and we're going to see a lot of it throughout 2025 and basically going into the playoffs, because I know we can get there this season. Because we are that playoff team. I think we can win a few games. Like, who knows? Maybe national title number 19.
I feel it. I feel like this is a group, and I'm not even talking about the players. I'm talking about the staff. This is a national championship caliber staff. Like, you look at the amount of experience on the defensive side alone, and the continuity and the success of familiarity on the offensive side. It's kind of hard to imagine that Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb and Jamarcus Shepard and now Coach Cap, someone who's had knowledge of this system, and his blocking scheme is kind of like the advanced stages of what this scheme is supposed to develop into. It's kind of like it was like a match made in heaven. And then you got guys who specialize in certain development traits. Brian Ellis, Coach Ellis, in the pass game coordination, working with the tight ends, also offensive line experience. You talk about Nick Sheridan, quarterback, wide receiver, offensive quality control, got the play calling experience under his belt last season. And I think he did a decent job for the cards he was dealt. So you look at the staff alone, I think this is a different type of staff. Ryan Grubb putting the emphasis on acknowledging that Ty Simpson has been in college for 4 years, a veteran guy. He should be able to do all these things at a high clip. He should be the most unfat, he should be the one that should be the less moved emotionally. He should be able to control his highs and his lows. And those are things that Coach Grubb said. Those are things that Coach Grubb ended up saying in the interview. Let's go back to the clip here, and I'm gonna run it real quick. Let's get it. Something happened with Jackson, y'all.
5 days of that, all of spring. So 6 in a row. I think we had 8 out of 10 practices. So we're absolutely. Let's see. I mean, I don't know what today was, but we'd had 6 practices in a row where we hit our explosive.
Talking about explosive plays.
We've certainly been able to get the ball down the field, which is great because I think our defense does a good job of trying to limit those. So, which was a lot better. I don't know if we had 5 days of that all of spring. So 6 in a row. I think we had 8 out of 10 practices. So we were rolling a little bit.
Brian, what was the message to you, Austin, and Keelan when, I guess, moving forward with Ty being the official starter now?
Well, I think for those guys, I know, they have to continue to progress. I think that for quarterbacks in general, any position is tough, but the development of a quarterback to continue to move forward during a season, I think is the toughest thing. Like that's the thing. Like you have to find ways to generate both coaching staff wise to create looks and opportunities that those guys don't just pause. Young quarterbacks are really talented like Austin and Keelan. What you don't want is that the starters named and all this improvement that they've been making to this point just comes to a screeching halt. So that part they totally understood. I know they're up to the task, and I think there's a huge part of that is just the relationships and the bond that's been built in that room. I told the guys, I thought one of the things that stood out to me the most about that room was there never was this feeling of somebody conceding. So like, oh, Ty's going to be the guy. There was never an approach by any of the three guys that it was like it's him or him. At the same time, it was all organic. Guys were able to focus on their job and just be the best quarterback they can be. And I think that they all developed because of the type of room that we have. So tip of the cap to those guys. I don't think that's coaching. I think that's just the guys doing a really good job of just focusing on themselves. And, I think Austin and Keelan will be up to that.
Thoughts, Jackson?
I feel pretty good about where this year. Like I feel very confident where things are this year. Thoughts for sure. Like we're gonna be rocking and rolling. I cannot wait for week 1 to come already. I mean, it just can't come soon enough. Only 18 days.
And I think more so, I'm more excited because of the simple fact, it's a testament to what I believe is the reason why Coach Saban was so for Kalen DeBoer, his style of leading, because of the development of the players. If you're not going to do anything as a football coach, you should be able to develop players on the football field. That requires being able to connect on a different level. It requires a different type of relationship from coach to player. It requires a certain level of trust and vulnerability. And I think that's why you see such a quick turnaround. I guarantee you, man, I would not be opposed to Alabama going undefeated this season. I would not be opposed to seeing this team, right? I would not be surprised if they look at all of the narratives. And I'm saying y'all could take this as a hot take or whatever, but I would not be surprised if Alabama went through this 12-game regular season schedule undefeated, with how the games lined up and some of the teams that are more experienced coming into T-Town. I would not be surprised if we go undefeated in the regular season and we play the first 2 games of the playoffs, really tight windows, and then end up being national championship. I wouldn't be surprised. Hot take, call it whatever you want, because this team is that together from top to bottom, from GM all the way down to, equipment manager. This organization is on the same page, and it's kind of crazy to watch how it's unfolding, because a lot of people, a lot of fans within the fan base doubted it. Husky Harris and all this other stuff. We were allowing Auburn fans, to crack jokes on us, and we weren't defending the new head coach until he beat Georgia. That's when people started kind of waking up. But I don't even think Georgia's the clip. I don't even think they're the peak this year. So I'm excited for this staff. I like how they've developed out this quarterback room to kind of just gel with the competitive nature, iron sharpened iron. We talked about that earlier. I'm excited. I'm just like you, Jackson. I can't wait for week 1 to go ahead and get here, man. We got less than what's this? We got 18 days now, 17 days.
18 days till week 1 against Florida State on ABC 2:30.
2:30, man. Ooh. I'm gonna be good and fat by then too, boy. I'm gonna start grilling about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna start smoking the meats. Man. Pause. Hey, let's get back to this interview. Coach Grubb. Hey, shout out to the members of the
we're
Alabama Voice of College Football, man. We thank y'all for y'all support. Shout out to Mary J. and Jordan Wright, both members of the AAA family, also members over here of the Alabama Voice of College Football. We thank y'all for y'all support. Appreciate y'all. Anybody else in the chat, man, y'all think about supporting us. Wow, they say flammable take. Steve said that's a flammable take. Oh, yeah. I'm like that. I stand on it too, man. Like, I would not be surprised Like I'm not saying that it's going to happen, Steven. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying if it were to happen, I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be the one out here that's like, oh my God, they actually went undefeated. Like I would be the one that's like, man, hey, I'm not surprised. That's all I'm saying. Because this team, if you look at what this makeup of this team is, they have the potential to do such a thing.
Still working through all that. Those guys will continue to rep. I think you'd be pigeonholing yourself a little bit on reps and opportunity for both those guys to get better.
Ty gets the job that's announced to the team. What's your message to him after that?
Just don't change anything. Like we still got a lot of stuff to clean up. Remember what got you the job, the things that, you're challenged to improve on after spring and that you did do to this point in camp. Nothing has to change. So I think you just got to keep improving on the things that he knows he has to work on. And this is just, it's announcement. It's a starting point. If you have any kind of finality to this announcement, whether you're the backup or the starter, I think, they're going to rob themselves of some really good opportunities.
What was the team's response to Ty being named the starter?
Supportive. I think, the guys have been supportive, all three guys, but certainly Ty has shown the most leadership and command. So I don't think anybody was caught off guard by that. But I thought, we did a good job as a coaching staff. I'm not trying to pat ourselves on the back, but trying to let it play its course and make sure the team saw Ty earn it. I think that's important for Ty, too, that he can come out there and his teammates know that he went and earned that spot. And they've been great, offense and defense. Ty's pretty fiery. He's a pretty fiery guy. I've really been impressed how he's been able to kind of calm that. I always thought I was wildly impressed in my time with Geno Smith. He's a fiery competitor as well, but I always told Ty, like, Geno's ability to get back to room temperature quickly and be able to process and be an elite quarterback was something that I was always just amazed by. And I told Ty, that's what you got to be, is a guy that can have composure and realize there's different times that, release points. You score a touchdown, you want to go crazy, right? But up to then, you just got to be a smooth operator.
That's quality. That's quality there. That's what you've seen in some of your past national championship quarterbacks, the quarterbacks that have had great success at the University of Alabama. Being the quarterback at the University of Alabama is already hot enough. The next thing you think of is just how do you carry at a level to, match the standard of those that come before you. With all of the adversity that Jalen Murrow and his team went through the past 2 seasons, one thing I can say is very few times that we see Jalen Murrow's demeanor and how he presented himself shaken. Now, later on in that second season, when things became a little bit more Hollywood, we saw some things, and I saw him self-correct at points too. But I think with all of this that's surrounding Ty Simpson, he has no reason to overdo it. He has no reason to overdo it. And I think with Ryan Grubb co-signing and saying that he has not shown those qualities of not being able to be consistent or, having flaws in characters, that's great. That's great because we all know the story how Ty Simpson showed up, his freshman year and the sense of ego that had to be challenged. And he learned quick. A coach's son, he learned quick and made himself vulnerable enough to now he's trusted as a leader, as a voice in that team, man. So quality stuff coming from Coach Grubb when it comes to describing Ty Simpson's growth, man, since he's been able to evaluate him. So that's huge to see that from another set of eyes. This young man really grow, because last year could have been the year where he hit the portal. After last season, sitting behind Jalen Murrow, I could see why a quarterback would be frustrated and be looking to maximize his time at the collegiate level. But he stayed. He's trusted the process. He's seen the value in this system, and now he's getting praise from one of the best offensive coordinators in the game of college football.
Well said.
So let's transition to another topic, man. QB number 2. We talk about the QB1. What's your thoughts on where would you, as a fan, and somebody that loves this Crimson Tide program, who would be your QB2 and why?
Keelan Russell, simply because that dynamic that he can bring.
What was that?
Keelan Russell, simply because that dynamic he brings. I mean, like, for a moment, it looked like he was going to be the starter, but then, No, he's not, but that's okay. I think he's going to wait for 2026 come around, maybe 2027. But, I'm excited to see what Russell can bring as the backup. But we'll know if we'll see him against Louisiana Monroe in week 2, like when we bring the backups in for the cupcake game.
I think even more so this, Jackson, and this is just a little extra scoop. I think Keelan Russell and the future projection, and we talked about this earlier, and the future projection of what this team is going to be on the offensive side next year. There's so much leaving in this class for the draft off of this offense. You're going to lose potentially you're going to lose 4 offensive linemen, right, to graduation in the draft. You're going to lose possibly 5. If Wilkin Formby has a crazy breakout second year, on the field, he can go to the draft. He can be an early second round pick. He can be a late second round, early third round pick with a crazy good year from this Alabama Crimson Tide. And national championship teams always get poached by the NFL draft. 3rd and 4th rounds, you see all the national championship players. You don't even remember them playing in the game. And now they all of a sudden getting drafted. So it's possible that this team can create that much value for a large group of draft eligible players. So you got to start getting some guys some continuity. I talked about this second group of offensive line, with Mal Wardrop looking like the future at the center position, him and Olis Alanim both taking snaps at the center position. Then you got guys like William Sanders that's still there. Does he stick around now that he's more one of the veteran guys? You got Rock Montgomery, who's next in line at one of the guard positions. And then you got the 2 young freshman phenoms in Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll, man, in the tackle positions for your second team offensive line already. So it's like, why not have Keelan Russell getting that continuity with that group that projected next season's, starting offense? And then potentially all of the wide receiver assets that you got in that rotation. You got Jalen Hill, Cole Adams, Rico Scott probably is your primary guy in that group. Latier Brooks is in that group. Mbakwe, guys that still have to develop but can contribute at a high level right now with specific assignments, but not as much versatility, just being able to do what they do best in this scheme. That's the luxury we have of this season. And Keelan Russell will be with that second group as QB2. I think his ceiling is just so high, and his consistency, his growth curve is a lot faster than what you're getting from Austin Mack in his 3 years in college football.
Yeah.
Let's get to the comments, man. Keelan, hey, my boy, Bama Boy 22 says Keelan must most upside play well according to you, Smoot, and can't risk losing him. You know what? I don't think you risk losing Keelan Russell by playing Ty Simpson. I think the fact that he's even in the fight, that's an encouraging thing to a freshman quarterback. That's an encouraging thing to a freshman quarterback. So I hate that, I know that I've got a brother, man. He calls me, and the Bama fans go crazy on social media every time something happens. Anything happens, there's got to be a negative part of the fan base that just cries about any and everything. So you got fans talking about, man, look at this. Now we're gonna lose Keelan Russell, and then you got the fans doing the picture swaps with the link. They put in the LACK, and I'm like, it's ignorance. We get flack. I get flack for doing a true evaluation of quarterbacks in comparison just based off of their skill sets, not about skin color, race, or anything of that. But we go and we see stuff like that posted, and you see some of the same personalities that try to condemn the analysts, the people that really know football and are tired of the media propaganda driven stuff. They get mad at us and try to cancel us, get us canceled. But then you see guys that do that and react that and repost it and it's supported. I don't like that. That's why I like the fact that Kalen DeBoer and his staff, they don't pay attention to the media, man. They don't pay attention to the media. They doing this just like they've been experiencing success in all these other spots. They have not tried to become something that they're not. And that's why this team is developing and becoming the type of squad that looks like they're primed and ready to make a national championship run. My boy Jordan asked the question above. Let me see. Go Go ahead, Jackson. What was you about to say, brother?
Oh man, I'm just ready for that offense to get rolling. I'm ready for it to get rolling. Week 1, weeks 3 and 5. I'm already getting ready for that Georgia game as well.
Right, right. I'm telling you, that trip to Athens is going to be a weird one because I want to go. I want to go and stay like that Thursday. I want to be able to do all the streams from a location close to Athens that Thursday, so I can go ahead and be there like early Saturday morning. College game day is probably going to be there. I might stretch that whole week. I might like do some extra stretches and go back to college smook, just and bring us some coverage in college version of me, to have some fun. I think because last year, the Georgia fans, man, they were a good crowd, man. The Georgia fan base is pretty solid. I know they talk a lot of trash, they talk crazy, but the Georgia fan base is pretty solid to congregate with as far as fan bases. Whenever every time we've had Georgia Alabama meetups, I mean, even at the Dome, and in the parking lot, we had the little tailgate party then. In I want to say 2018, 2017, one of those years. That interaction with Georgia fans was pretty cool. So I like going. I can't wait to have my first experience in Athens, and then just providing coverage and being able to do what we do here at the Voice of College Football. It should be fun. It should be fun. It's going to be some other personalities. I plan on linking up with some other Alabama personalities there too. So we're gonna have some fun. Let's get to Jordan's question though, Jackson. He said, a question for the panel: how long is Ty's leash going into the season? What's your thoughts, Jackson?
That's a good one right there. I would say like 6 games if he's having some really bad moments, like against Florida State, Wisconsin, and Georgia and Vanderbilt. But other than that, that's it for me. I'd say 6 games. But if he can get past that leash, he'll be more than okay.
Facts. I'm gonna say less than that. I'm gonna say 3 games. I think because of what Ryan Grubb said, literally what he just said about how much he's improved since he's been there, and that's not been live action. That's been on the practice field, controlled environments. If that can't roll over to the field at a high clip from a 4-year guy in college football, then you're not going into conference play with those questions. Week 2, there will be an opportunity if this offense is sputtering, right? Let's say we beat Florida State 24-3. Offense has 11 possessions, but only scores on 4 of them. Defense gets 9 extra stops or 7 extra stops at that clip, right? To give us the ball. And we only get 17 points off of it. That's not the type of clip that Coach Grubb and his staff wants. So let's say we go into week 2 against ULM, and there's a struggle in the first half. We're only up 14-0 at half. I guarantee you, Keelan Russell will get an opportunity to play that second half, and I mean like early second half, maybe second, third drive into the third quarter. He'll get an opportunity. If there's any type of spark, I don't care if it's against ULM, they will allow him to start that third game against Wisconsin, being that it's at home and it's another Power 4 opponent from a conference they're going to field a good defense. Their ones are going to be good, and they're going to run a style of defense that requires him to be disciplined in his delivering the ball, and that would be a perfect opportunity to put him under the lights, put the pressure on him to see if he can roll over what they've been evaluating. Because going into Georgia, going into Athens, they're going to want an exact game plan. They're going to be able to. They want to have at least 3 pages, 3 options worth of homework. And if Keelan Russell is doing exactly what they say he's been doing, picking up the playbook daily, continuing to increase, I think this is going to be a good thing. But at the same time, I don't think Ty has a long leash. Like I said, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. He'll get a game and he'll get 6 quarters. He'll get 6 quarters before his leash is pulled. With all the talent we have around Ty, I wouldn't be surprised if we go undefeated all the way through and have an SEC championship and a national championship. I feel it. I feel it, Zach. Keelan must upside. Okay, we read that one already. Big homie 334. What's up, brother? He said Keelan Russell, but I would have a package for Austin Mack. Don't forget, Mack came to college a whole year early, also at Washington. For potential, I'm going with Russell. Same. Mary J say, I think he has to be QB2. I like how offense came out swinging in the scrimmage and made the defense wake up. I ain't worried about the defense at all, but this says a lot about the mentality of the offense. Joshua Waddle Stewart, you got to prove to Keelan and his family that he's the guy if and when Ty leaves. If he isn't QB2, they'll answer those calls in the fall. Why do you always have to go there, Bama Boy 22? Why does the fan base have to go there? I don't think you all understand the value in this staff. You haven't seen anybody that they recruited jump in the portal because of lack of playing time. Give me one. Give me a player that Kalen DeBoer's staff has established an extensive relationship with that has jumped in the portal since they've been hired at Alabama. I ain't talking about guys that came over from Saban transition. I'm talking about the 25 players, the class of 25 players that they had to recruit, and the class of 24 players. There have been a window for both of these class of players to either hit the portal or whatever. And it hasn't happened yet. Why would Keelan Russell dial it up? This is a staff that really recruited. I don't think there's anything in front of him not being the starter next year. Even if they technically name him QB3, I think that would just be a mental test to see how he continues to work in practice. What's your thoughts, Jackson, about the mindset? Like, do you think that's a huge factor with a lot of this top tier talent?
I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater because if you're sticking with Ty Simpson, you stick with him. I like where things are going to go with Simpson. I think we're going to be more than fine going into 2025. I mean, this is the perfect plan. Stick it out with Simpson. And if he decides I'm gone after 2025 for the draft or I'm staying for 2026, you got Keelan Russell sitting there waiting in the wings. And I think Keelan Russell can do just that.
I don't think you see Ty Simpson return with the national championship under his belt. I don't think that happens. So if we don't win a national championship, maybe Ty considers coming back. But that will be because we don't win a national championship with a subpar passing yard season, meaning sub 3K, sub 30 touchdown passes, sub 35. Jordan said we started inside tonight. I know that's right, Jordan. Got to stay out that heat. But QB2, I'm going with Keelan Russell. That's what signs are. All the signs and roads are pointing to with Keelan Russell. All right, last and but not least, Jackson. One last topic of discussion, man. Kind of just to update everybody on the 2026 recruiting class. I want y'all to remember. Go ahead, Jackson. We're not done yet. We were in a mix for a lot of high end defensive linemen, and the more that I look at this bandit position, I see some targets that may have committed right elsewhere, but are now going to be primary targets with possibly losing 3 guys from that defensive end position. We can lose possibly 3 guys at the defensive end position, the bandit position on Alabama's roster right now. And that's LT Overton, Kelby Collins, and Keon Keelan. There's a strong possibility that all those young men can they're eligible for the draft after this season. And they all possess a second round, first round type, style talent, and won't need 1,000 reps to create value for themselves at the next level. So in recruiting, Jackson, I think people think that it kind of dies down during the season, but no. If you look at when some of these visits are scheduled with players that are committed elsewhere, there are games where you should see the defensive line really go crazy. And I want y'all to watch against this year against ULM. Watch how many visitors we have early in the season. But then the Tennessee game when we host Tennessee, the Oklahoma game when we host Oklahoma. Watch the different defensive linemen that show up and visit and make the official visits during those games, and watch what happens once we come to early signing day with I can guarantee maybe 2 flips right now on the defensive line for Alabama right now. Two for sure. 2 for sure.
Yeah, I mean that there's always going to be a flip somewhere somehow because we can always get them. We can always get them. I mean, we were able to get Jet Tamala to come from Iowa State. I think we can get many more flips than that.
Facts. And when I look at this class though, right now we're pretty. I like where we're at. I like where we're at right now. But when we talk about a depth standpoint, going to need to get some guys. We don't know what this draft class. We have a lot of draft eligible players on Alabama's roster right now on both sides of the ball. Next year's squad is going to be young if a lot of guys decide to take their chances at the next level. And this is going to be a young, talented squad, but it's going to be young. And we know what young talent does. You know, it's a lot of growing pains in that. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it develops. I'm excited to see how everything turns out. But that's basically the basis of recruiting, man. Be looking for some of these guys to start talking, you know, being more vocal about their interactions with Alabama, especially late in September when you start to see guys trying to, you know, they start finding out if their teams are going to make the playoffs or if they're going to be having postseason plans, all of this other stuff. So you'll hear a lot more talk about guys and their interest in Alabama. But Jackson, I think that's it for tonight, man. What you thinking?
Absolutely, but first, got some we got to make some bets somehow for 2025.
Hey,
I wonder who the man is to go to. I know. I think Mark Rogers and friends can tell us what to do for 2025.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select a betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Yes, sir. Listen,
There we go. For example, in the under the radar picks from Steve Merrill, if you had picked Pittsburgh, Kent State for Pittsburgh to beat the spread against Kent State last year in week 1, you'd have had a winner right there. You definitely want to listen to Steve Merrill on his under the radar pick of the week. I know I am. It's like it's a wise investment for the year. And you also want to make, and of course, always make sure to listen to Matt Zemek from Trojans Wire, College Wire, and USC Primetime Live Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and Corey Bratta from the Hawkeye Norman, Iowa Hawkeyes Live. And check out those picks from Steve Dace from the Steve Dace Show on Blaze TV and the Michigan Podcast. Tune in. You won't want to miss those picks, and you definitely won't want to miss those picks from Mark Rogers himself. Tune in. You won't want to miss it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all give it up for Mark Rogers and the family, man, the Voice of College Football family, and everything that we're doing, man. This organization is growing. Like you said, we named a lot of different fan bases where you can kind of reference what not Alabama, but the Voice of College Football organization. You're talking about Oklahoma, you're talking about Georgia, Missouri, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Florida, LSU, South Carolina, Auburn. I mean, we got a lot of spots. Illinois is on the team. Michigan is here now. So it's a lot of coverage, and we're growing. We're going to continue to grow. A lot of people are starting to see what the brand is becoming. So don't let the Alabama fan base or the Alabama community of it be slacking. Spread the word. Alabama Voice of College Football is where you want to be every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Especially next month when we launch our new schedule. You guys want to be here so that you could be in the lives. We're going to have a lot of interactive things that we're going to be doing throughout the season. A lot of on-site coverage, a lot of boots on the ground type of work, man. Getting the leg work in. Yours truly, myself, Coach Smook, Smook Hines of the Coach Smook Network and Alabama Voice of College Football. My brother Jackson Johnson, man. We're going to be doing some work, and then we got Jeffrey on the team, man. Can't wait to get him back in action next week. No, actually, y'all will see Jeffrey Thursday for the call-in show, and then I'll be here. I'll be here too Thursday. We'll all be here at some point on show Thursday. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure y'all tap in. And if you ain't got nothing else to say, Jackson, man, I'm good, man.
I'm all good for tonight.
All right, man. Well, chat. We appreciate y'all, Voice of College Football family. Thank you, everybody. AAA family, thank y'all for showing up. I'm your boy, Smook Hines. This is Jackson Johnson. Jackson, tell them where they can find you at on all your socials, man.
Well, they can find me on Jackson VOCFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908. But they can also find me on my personal YouTube channel at Jackson Johnson 979, where I host my show, The Jacksonian. And I do my numerous collaborations with Sports Talk with Austin, Will and D, Only Talk Sports, and much, much more. And I've got numerous episodes of The Jacksonian coming your way. And I'm getting close to 1,000 subs.
Yes, sir.
For the end of the year, that's for sure.
Yes, sir. 1K, we on the way. Shout out to my guy, man. And for myself, man, y'all can find me at Coach Smook on all platforms, any social media platform. Find your boy Smook Hines at Coach Smook on all platforms. And mainly on the Coach Smook Network here on YouTube, but stepping into this role here at Alabama Voice of College Football, embracing the direction and the things that we're doing to help the channel grow. Really want you all support. If you support me on my personal, want your support here on Alabama Voice of College Football. We'll be expanding. We are talking with Bleacher Report about doing a post-game show in collaboration with Alabama Voice of College Football. So be on the lookout for those type of things, man, because that's just all networking and continue to bring exposure to this fan base and to this team just like they deserve, man. And we want to give them the quality coverage. We preach in positivity and growth around here. So if you're with positivity and growth, put a Roll Tide in the chat. And listen, man, we appreciate y'all for stepping in tonight and hanging out with us, myself and Jackson, and tapping into Alabama Primetime Live. With that being said, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be blessed and have a great night. And for the Tide family in the chat, roll Tide, roll.
Roll.
Let's go, man. Y'all have a great night. Y'all be blessed.